Coming to you from the heart of the Pacific, brought to you by Paulie by Design.
Respected at all times.
Broadcasting from San Francisco, California, the city by the bay.
It's about to go down.
We shine on positive Pacific Islander role model every Sunday.
Party on a Sunday.
From 10 a.m. to noon, it's time for the iconic Faika podcast with your hosts,
Listening to
Naki and Carl.
What's up, Naki?
What's up, Carl?
It's game day.
Yes.
Game day. Super, what do they call it? Super wild card weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
Raiders went to Cincinnati, got sent packing, so they're headed back to Las Vegas, out of the playoffs. Cincinnati moves on. I think a lot of the country was happy to see Josh Allen and the Bills put a thumping on the Patriots. So the Patriots are out too. The Niners play today. Who y'all play? You got the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
Niners play the Cowboys, and then tonight to cap off the greatest opening wild card weekend, the greatest franchise in the history of organized sport, the Pittsburgh Steelers go into Arrowhead to try to win against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Tall order there. That's why I'm wearing my gear today. So let's see, what do we got today besides football? We've got the tsunami in Tonga. Our heart goes out to the Pacific, specifically Tonga.
We've got
Taurua Island is what we call sinking. There's rising water there in the Saposa Island group. We're going to talk about that. And then Jason Momoa had his heart broken. I don't know if he's ever going to recover. He's gone from public view. Lisa Bonet broke up with him, and I'm sure we're never going to see him on social media or anything. His heart's broken. So that's our show today. Naki, what's good?
Good morning. Good morning to everyone on Facebook. Thank you for checking in. Our Maury is checking in from the East Bay. Good morning. Nellie checking in from the state of Washington. Good morning, Nell. Melody is checking in from down south, San Jose. Hey, Bling Auntie. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Yeah, lots of stuff happened this week. I'm still in quarantine.
Thus, the virtual setting we have today.
Yeah. So good morning, Sifa.
Good morning,
Sifa is on. And so lots and lots of stuff happening this morning. Good morning, Calvin. Man, lots of people tuning in this morning. We've had I think a lot of things that our community is looking for. We're looking for news of the tsunami that happened on the island of Tonga. So we're trying to, I know that there's no, TV or news or anything like that. So we'll be getting into that a little bit later. This week, I've been home all week because I tested positive for COVID. And so I've been quarantined in my home for like forever. My husband caught COVID. He tested positive, and now he's tested negative. Now I'm positive now. I've been quarantined in my room. I am going crazy. And so I'm just needing to, last week I couldn't get on because my asthma kicked in really bad. But this is my second time catching COVID. So
the first time, Naki, you were not, there was no vaccine available at the point.
There was no vaccine.
You and your family got it the first time, and then you're vaccinated. You were vaccinated now going through it. Same experience, different experience?
Different experience. The first time I caught COVID, I wasn't vaccinated, and it was early. It was a year exactly. Last year, I caught COVID. I had severe symptoms. I couldn't breathe. I still, to this day, have breathing issues because of COVID. I now have asthma. I have albuterol. I have the inhalers because of COVID last year. And this is now that I'm vaccinated, this is my second time catching COVID. And I am like not even as bad as I was last year, this time last year. So I think it has a lot to do with me getting vaccinated. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I got vaccinated and that my symptoms were like Nothing. Just my asthma acted up again, but that's it. I'm quarantined. There was a lot of things going on this week I couldn't get to, which I was dying to get to. And so, when you're quarantined, you're stuck at home. I'm done watching TV. There's nothing on Netflix that I want to watch there. Oh, but I did watch Dawn Raid,
I've heard
which
about
is
that.
which was a movie out of New Zealand about a record company, New Zealand record company called Dawn Raid. Of course, they took the name of, that in the 70s, the crazy shit that happened there. I was surprised. It was a really good movie. So I encourage you, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go check out Dawn Raid. It's out on the internet. You have to, I think you can rent it for $5.99. And that's what we did. It was way worth the money for me, because you just have to go watch it. The storyline is all PIs are in that movie. It was about New Zealand. At Ease was it, came out of Dawn Raid, Aradna Savage, the Decepticons. It was a really good movie. I loved it. So um I encourage you to go watch it, go check it out. It was a good movie for me. It was a really good movie because it was about the music that I listened to. So I encourage you to go watch it, come back next week, and we'll have like a long discussion about it. But so I watched that. That was really good. And then after that, I was like,
Have
last
you got to the point where you're like rewatching series, like
night,
I don't know, like Game of Thrones or something, where you go back and watch
yeah, no.
stuff again, or are you just trying to find new content?
I'm trying to find new movies. I'm not one of those. Once I see a good movie, I can't go back and watch it. Like there's only like a handful of movies I can watch a second time. Like one of my favorite movies, and it's so old, but it's one of my favorite movies. Oh, dang it. Dirty Dancing. Like I can watch that over and over again. Color Purple, that's one of my favorites. And the what is it? The Legend of 10 Rings or something that came out this year or last year, actually.
I
I
haven't
can
seen that a
watch
second
that.
time,
Yeah, I can
but I
watch
will.
that again and again and again. So that's a good movie. Good morning, Calvin, checking in from East Palo Alto. And Sister Epi is checking in on
Morning, Epi.
Facebook, Salmon Solutions. So yeah, I love Dawn Raid. Go check it out. We'll have a discussion next week about the movie. Yeah, I was stuck at home. I had family come in for, of course, First Lady Tonga Asao, who passed away, and her funeral was this week. I couldn't go because of COVID. And so a lot of people that I knew, are being careful about being out and about. So that that was me home. Quarantine life sucks, let me just tell you that. So now I have to admit, I did slack off. Like COVID-19, like when it first started, I was washing my hands every 5 minutes. I had hand sanitizer. And then I have to admit, I slacked off. And I think because stuff started opening up, and then in my mind, it was getting better. And then I caught it a second time. So you will not catch me slipping. I had to order some. I was using the blue hospital mask, and come to find out that don't help shit. So you have to CDC and the medical team people are advising you to use the N95. So that's what I got. But yeah, that was me in a nutshell. Not too much, like, I don't know. We had Koviki talk. I don't know if you want to talk about that now.
We can
It
talk
was
about that as we go into. It's a good segue when we're going to talk about what's
right.
coming up.
But yeah, it was Koviki talk was really good. So if you haven't seen it, please go check it out. But we'll go into a little bit more detail in a little bit. We had Dr. Ao, Dr. Fumono, Dr. Ricklin. What else? I think that was it for me. I'm just like, I'm dying to go back to work because I'm tired of being home. um as long as I'm symptom free for 24 to 70, 24 hours. I think Carl said the best to be symptom free is 72 hours to be super safe. But as long as you're symptom free for 24 hours, continue to wear your mask for at least 5 days after. Well, you're supposed to wear it anyway, but yeah. I think that's all I got. How was your week?
My week was eventful. So I got wrapped up in the problem of insurance and bureaucracy of the right hand not talking to the left hand. So I've been in treatment since 2015. I've gotten the same shot every month
Mm.
for almost 7 years,
Yep.
and no problems whatsoever. So this week or this month, I originally was scheduled for treatment on the week that I had jury duty. So I had moved it from that week to the following week. And so Nicole and I went to get, she went with me to get treatment. The following week when we got there, they said that I didn't have pre-authorization for treatment.
Oh, what the heck?
So that's a little irritating getting all the way, taking time out of your day and going to the doctors,
I know.
and so we get there and we get turned away literally at the window in the receptionist. The doctor comes out and says, no, the Dr. Kyleth is an absolute
Mm.
angel. He says, nope, let's, come back, let's talk.
Mhm.
So we get back there, and ultimately, I have Aetna insurance, and it's administered by a different company. So the company sent a note that said my coverage ended on December 31st, which our fiscal year at my company that I work at ends January 31st. So it was incorrect to begin with. It was the wrong month to begin with. Um, Beyond that, that triggered a whole bunch of other problems. So the bottom line is I ended up leaving that day and not getting treatment, and waiting on Thursday and Friday for somebody to, straighten things out. So still have not straightened that out, but it really, you know, I'm going to get treatment. I have no doubt that Dr. Kyleth actually said, hey, let's just do it and then we'll work it all out later. But that's going to cause, more problems because it's the beginning of the year. You got all the out of pocket
Right.
cost and all those things. Like right now on my medical year, I'm max. Like I've done all my out of pocket stuff. So everything now is paid for. So I don't want to
Awesome.
start over from that point. So, long story longer, it's just once you get into that, you've been turned down, it's a bureaucratic mess to try to get things done. And again, to have this every month for almost 7 years and then have this kind of problem just shows that um anything can happen, right? You can be set up to have regular treatment and that can happen. So I think, really I came away from that thinking, one, that it doesn't mess anything up for me. My life's my life, and I feel
Mm.
blessed that I'm waiting for treatment that's available.
Right.
But it just, my wife
Frustrating.
is, yeah, my wife is excellent at making sure people do what they're supposed to do. So
Mm.
she will make the phone call to whoever she's got to make the phone call to and get things straightened out. So she's straightening it out. But if you don't have that kind of understanding of insurance and billing
Mm.
and just that stick to itiveness that she has, I mean, I could see a lot of people just saying, well, get back to
Okay.
me when you get
Right.
back to me, and not getting things they
What
need.
they
So,
need. Yeah. That is frustrating, especially if you don't know the system like Nick does.
right.
Cole's wife, Nicole. If you don't know the system like Nick does, it's frustrating because she's helped me like more than a couple of times get what I need from the insurance company. And it's a matter of just understanding their language.
Yeah, and she works in billing, right? So she does medical billing. So when people, like, it's cracked me up. I guess somebody sent their internal sheet over to her and said, "No, look, it says that you have to pay here." And Nicole's like, "That's your spreadsheet. Like that doesn't mean anything to me. Don't send that over
Right.
and say that this means anything." And I think the lady was like, "Ooh, I got somebody on the line that understands what they're talking about."
Right.
Um, so that I've been dealing with that, still waiting for treatment. Hopefully it comes
Yeah.
Monday or Tuesday because already I already put it off one week because of jury duty, and now it's off another week. I don't want to get too far into that, but that's where that was part of my week dealing with that. Yesterday, I went to go see Journal for Jordan. It's the new Michael B. Jordan movie. Great movie, really good movie. It's about a soldier and his son and his wife, and I won't give anything away other than that. Good
Michael
movie.
Jordan. That's all you got to say. Now everybody go run and watch the movie.
Yeah, there is a gratuitous, scene where he takes his shirt off and, all those things that always happen in the movies with they always got to have their shirt off for some reason. It doesn't make any sense, at least to us guys in the audience. We're like, put your shirt back on.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then, through the week, I saw all of the social media come to light with Jason Momoa's divorce.
Oh my God.
And what else did I have? I think I got a chance to write in the book and got a few more pages done. So slowly, that's happening. I don't have a finished date for it, but I keep plugging away with a book about, I guess, my life is what the book's about.
Can't wait to see that or
Yeah.
read it.
Yeah, you might see it. It might get published by the time you get to see it.
Yeah, whatever.
Naki wants to read the whole book before it comes out.
Hey, Taffy. Good morning. It's Taffy.
Good morning, Taffy.
Alaska. Good morning.
Every time I think about it being cold, I always think about Taffy and the group way up there in Alaska and think it ain't cold here. Cold
is
she's dealing with cold up there, but that's my week, and I'm gonna cap it off with it was pretty cool. I'm a football fan first. These weekends right now are just great weekends because there's playoff games on Saturday, there's playoff games on Sunday, there's a playoff game on Monday. It's a good time to be a football fan.
I know, not to hate, but the Raiders lost yesterday.
Yeah, that was a good game. And I don't know. I think actually it might have been the last time the Bengals won a game was when they ended up getting beat by the Niners in the Super Bowl. Like, it's a long time since the Bengals have won a playoff game. So congratulations to the Bengals fan. Yay. Raiders fan, got to turn that corner. Hopefully Carr is your guy. I mean, it's all about having a quarterback in the NFL. Let me ask you, Naki, as a 49er fan, is Jimmy G your man?
No, he's not mine.
Yikes.
I mean, yeah, everybody threw all their, everybody is Jimmy G is the, I am not feeling him. I hope that he takes us to the ship, and Mo's going to get mad if he's watching, but I don't think he's the guy.
Let me say this.
I am a 49er fan. Don't get me wrong. I just think that Jimmy is not the guy to take us there.
Let me say this, and as a football fan, Niner fan is spoiled. You guys had a Hall of Fame quarterback in Joe Montana, and then he leaves, and you get another Hall of Fame quarterback for a whole nother career with Steve Young. Like, that just doesn't. Maybe it happened. I guess in Green Bay they had Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers, but I would say Montana and Young outdo Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. That's a spoiled organization, and I love to hate on the Niners, but man, having Joe Montana for most of his career and then Steve Young, y'all some spoiled fans.
I am so glad that is the era that I got to watch the Niners. You know what I mean? Like, my kids, I'm waiting for my kids to get to be able to watch a Super Bowl, and actually win a Super Bowl. Let me put that in there, because my kids, we were like, we can't wait till you see the Giants win the World Series. And we waited and waited, and they won. My kids actually got to see the Giants win. And then the Warriors, who is my favorite team and yes, that's an old school Cub.
That's a Baron Davis era.
That's right. And so we were telling my kids, I can't wait till you see the Warriors win. And then they did. We went to Oakland, and then we went to San Francisco when the Giants won. I mean, and now we just waiting on the Niners. And, my kids is getting old. My kids, Taffy's all Cowboys all day. Taffy, my love, I was so close to loving you even more, and you did the Cowboys on me. But yeah, I love the Niners. It's just I don't think Jimmy G is the guy to take us there. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because Mo will kill me because I said it out loud. But what can I say?
Yeah, that's a tough. The when the Steelers went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Cowboys, that was like heartbreaking for me.
Right.
And then I talk a lot of trash about the Niners, but I've got family and friends that are Niner fans. Getting all the way to that edge and not winning it is that hurts, man. That hurts.
Yeah. Taffy's telling we can wait a little longer, sister. Yes, sister. I'm going to text you during the game, sister. Sister, I'm going to text you during the game. But yeah, my household is excited to watch the Niners right now, and I mean our whole house. I'm stuck in my room, so I'm just going to watch it in my room. But yeah, it's football season, so that's what we're doing is watching football and basketball because my Warriors are in there. Of course, Clay is back, so you can't even hate on that. Like it's crazy. It's a crazy time now.
Yeah, it could be another good time for the don't get too far down the sports rabbit hole here, but it could be a good time for the Warriors to not be that starting team that everybody says is going to go 72-0 and the overwhelming favorite, but then have Clay coming back and all cylinders hitting. Could be another good year for the Warriors too. But it's just back to football. It's a good time to be a football fan because you get playoff football on Saturday and Sunday and Monday.
And Monday. So
And
3
then
days.
right. And then next weekend, it's the same thing. I don't know if there's a Monday game, but there's playoff games on Saturday and Sunday next week too.
Yeah.
It's a good time to watch football. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be glued to the screen. Yesterday I was, today I was. Good games yesterday. Well, good game yesterday with the Raiders and the Bengals, but I got to be honest, I'm a bit of a hater. It felt kind of good to see Josh Allen and the Bills just stomp on the Patriots. I think they lost by like 30.
Yeah. I'm just I didn't see Mo yesterday because he was downstairs glued to the TV. And what can I do? What can I say? It's a good season right now. So I'm excited for football and all you football people. But basketball is my thing. If I had to choose, it's the Warriors that all day, every day. I don't know what to tell you. I love basketball. And my little one, she loves basketball too. I mean, my whole household. So really we're all Warrior fans. So take that to the bank. What what else happened? What else happened? You had treatment. You're working on your book, which, by the way, I'm excited. I heard you, but I'm excited to read it first. Thank you very much. So there you go. Good morning.
Yeah, Naki is calling. We're talking often, and she's like, "I need to read. I want to proof the first chapter. I want to read what's going on." She's like, She's no patience with Naki.
Yeah.
Naki wants it. She wants it now.
I want it now. But I've also read a lot of your stories early on. So I know some of them. Well, actually, I think I know a lot of them, but I just want to read it in your book. So there you go. There you go. Eileen, good morning.
Good morning, Eileen.
Yeah, tongue eruption news. That's good morning, Ty. Good morning, Dr. Fatleava.
Doctor in the house.
There's a doctor in the house. Dr. Ty Fatleava. Good morning. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Eileen, how yesterday I was glued to CNN because I was trying to get as much news as possible about Tonga, the island of Tonga. And so I was like glued to the internet. Like, I think, how they give you how long you've been on your phone for the week, or at least I do, because I want to know because I'm always on social media. And it said it was up by 10% because I think all because of yesterday and the day before. So that's crazy, crazy, crazy. I know Ty is looking forward to your book, which I'm sure I'm speaking it out to the universe. It will be done this year. It will be done this year. There you go. Get on it. Get on it.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. No, I spoke it into the universe. I don't know if you heard, just a quick mention of Dr. Samoa. Dr. Reynold Samoa was appointed to President Joe Biden's Advisory Commission on Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islander. So that is huge. Big news. He'll be an advocate for Pacific Islanders, representing PIs in the White House, which is freaking awesome. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Congratulations to Dr. Reynold Samoa.
Can't think of a better representative.
Right.
I can't. I just, and that's kind of a cliche, right? I can't think of anything. But if I tried to think of a better representative, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, he's a great representative. He's, he knows everything and anything. He's done the data. He's written the reports. He's written the what? He's been, I don't know what. He's done all the research. He's written all the research, the papers. So yeah, good morning, Joseph. San Diego checking in. So checking in on Facebook. Thank you everyone for tuning in this morning. We just gonna, yes, congratulations to Dr. Samoa. Samoan Solutions is on. They have their turkey trot every year. So well, what's next? What's going on? Are we going to talk about Jason Momoa? Are we waiting? My boo.
Let's talk about Jason Momoa.
My boo thing.
So Jason Momoa, and Naki may have a different view of this, but he had his heart broken. Like, he is probably a wrecked man. His wife, his soul mate, partner in life, decided that he wasn't good enough, so she dumped him, kicked him to the curb. He's probably never going to be heard from again. I'm sure that he's, going to stay off of social media. We're never going to hear from him again. She drowned Aquaman. So our heart goes out to the Jason Momoa and his family. We're probably never going to hear from him again. So go ahead, Naki. You probably have a different view.
Oh my God, you're such a hater. What did you say? Didn't you say there was an ad or something that he put out? $1 million ad or something?
Oh, I'm sure if there isn't, there probably will be, some campaign from the Momoa family trying to win her back and get back into her life. But hey, it was a good run, and we all love Jason Momoa. And I'm sure, Naki, you're probably never going to get to see him again in movies or social media or any of that kind of stuff.
Hater.
What a flurry of activity on social media with him becoming single again.
So him and Lisa Bonet broke up. They were married. They were together for 16 years. They have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. I think they're 12 and 10. And then she has a daughter from Lenny Kravitz, her first husband. And so I don't know what happened. I don't know what the story is, but best believe every Pacific Islander woman has text him, commented on hit him in the DMs. Every Pacific Islander woman has hit Jason Momoa in the DMs. Like,
what they have done is they're creative, because the memes have been, and we don't have any to show, but just go on social media and look up Jason Momoa. The memes are epic. I mean, it's been a huge topic of conversation. The jokes, all of it. It's been a fun week.
Yeah, I've seen, and then yesterday I started to see the memes of, I don't know who needs to read this, but you do not have a chance with Jason Momoa. Man, brutal, busting everybody's bubble. So yeah, that's what Melody says. That's what really got Naki's internet usage up this week. Was yes. That's true. I was like Googling Jason Momoa. What's his address? What's his email? How do I get a hold of him? I need to talk to him. It's an emergency. After all, he is one of my baby daddies. So, there you go.
Did you see, was it Daisha Afrotene said you don't have a shot with Jason Momoa, but Jason Momo down the block. You got a shot with him.
You got a shot with Jason Momo, but not Jason Momoa. So that was funny. That was Daisha. I seen that. I was dying laughing. So yeah, there was a lot of great memes that have been coming out of that separation. And it's sad, really. It's sad. It really is. It was sad for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and then everybody just started stalking him. So yeah,
everybody, like you, everybody was like, "Oh, that's too bad." Anyway, moving on.
I was like, I love Lisa Bonet because, okay, she's a cougar, right? She's She's 12 years older than him. And I think people were talking about when she got with him, he wasn't as popular as he had gotten during their marriage. And then when she was with Lenny Kravitz, nobody knew who he was. He was going under the name of Romeo something. And then he got popular. So she was finding like whoever she marries next or gets with next, if they're nobody, they're going to be somebody in the future. So
it's going to be Jason Momoa. He's going to open that campaign to get to ask her to take him back, I'm sure.
Oh my God, you're such a hater. He's getting so many proposals on Facebook, says Taffy. Yes. So many. I mean, TikTok has been, and that's what's getting me too, is so many PI women are on TikTok with a green screen of him, and they're like pretending like they're talking to each other and professing their love. It's really funny. So big ups to our PI women and men that are going after Jason Momoa in the green screen. So I love it. I love watching all those. I'm going to look for some more after that. But yeah, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet have broken up after 16 years being together, and everyone is sad except for the whole Pacific Islander community. So
the PI women, I give you an A+ for creativity,
yes,
and finding ways to reach out to them, and then the memes and the social media presence.
Right. You know what? I think
well done.
We should keep track of those memes, and the funniest one, we should bring it up next Sunday. See who wins the funniest meme. I think I'm going to find a good one.
There's a lot out there.
Lots and lots. So I'm sad for their family, for their kids. But I think he went back to Hawaii. Is from what I heard, is that he's back in Hawaii. Living his best life. So
I think he went to the abandoned island. He's there all by himself.
Oh, Lord.
He's not coming back.
Lord have mercy. So yeah, that was sad news for that family. I mean, people break up all the time, but Jason Momoa, Aquaman, ciao. Taffy, you better go girl. So yeah, so we're sorry about their family breaking up, but every single PI woman of every friggin' island is taking their shot. So good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Yeah. So we are moving on from Jason Momoa. We're dumping Jason Momoa like Lisa Bonet did. We're moving on.
Oh, stop. Taffy, Taffy, we're going to take a Naopo trip to Hawaii. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take Taffy said she'll pass. Well, then you come with me. So yeah. So, hey, whatever. He's separated. He's single. Go get him. What else happened this week? We had Koviki talk. Are we going to talk? Well, when we come back, how about we go to break and then come back and talk about Koviki talk and the tsunami and the beautiful island that is sinking. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to mess it up. There you go.
In the Saposa Islands.
There you go. So, Minna, hit it, girl.
Protect your kids with the COVID vaccine. Up to 1 in 5 new cases have been in kids. They are just as likely to get COVID as adults. Vaccines are safe and specially formulated for children 5 to 11. Questions? Talk to a health worker. We can do this.
I love that. I love that because it's our people, it's our voice.
It's an ad with faces that look like us. How amazing is that? That's protect your kids the best way possible with COVID vaccines, which are tailored for children 5 to 11. Talk to a health worker if you have any questions. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this.
I think the reason so you had talked about earlier about dawn raids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing Pacific Islanders in that portraying themselves, telling their own story in their own words, in their own voices. And then when we have just ads like that, just short ads that have our voice and our people representing ourselves. It's like you always say, what time is it good for? It's a
It's
good
good
time
to
to
be a Pacific
be a
Islander.
Pacific Islander. And when you see these kind of things and these images,
Mhm.
and it's just heartwarming to see us portray ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good time to be Pacific Islander, and they, of course, go to vaccines.gov for more information.
Get
Essence
your
Mama,
health information from a health organization or a health official, not the comments section.
right. Essence of Mana?
Essence of Mana. Where do you bring that up? Essence of Mana is offering free classes via Zoom. They've been reaching out to the community, our Pacific Islander community, and right now, due to the pandemic, it doesn't matter where you live. You just got to be willing to commit to the course, which is 12 weeks long. For more info or to register, you can hit up Lulu Masina at 415-243-6328 or El Masina at healthright360.org. Talanoa Tuesday is also on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can check them out. They got great guests. We've been a guest on, not saying we're great, but we have been asked to be on the show. We gave our story and our background, and you have different people every Tuesday telling their own story with Sister Nani and Lulu. So go check them out. And if you missed a show, you can check out Talanoa Tuesday on Essence of Mana's Facebook page.
Yeah. Good morning, Brother Vince. Checking in on Facebook. First annual Pacific Feast Festival is happening Saturday, July 9th at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds, featuring various PI artists such as Fiji, Sammy J, Tanel. They just added Kava Cassidy. So it's going to be a great show, July 9th. Please go to pacificfeastfestival.com to get your tickets, or pacificfeastfestival.eventbrite.com. Get your tickets now before they sell out.
Come check us out. We're going to be there. We're going to be there. Naki will be microphone in hand, chasing everybody, harassing people to get on camera and answer some questions. And we've also connected with Island City Media Group, and they're going to be there as well. So look for Island City Media and PBD at the Pacific Feats Festival. Like I said, Naki's going to harass everybody with her camera and her microphone. What is it? There's another good event in the summer that will be coming up, is going to be the Amu Barbecue. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depth here in a minute. The Amu Blood Drive is happening March 19th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 2055 Sunnydale Avenue, San Francisco, California. For those of you that you don't know, that's the SCDC address. For more details, visit linktr.ee/all my usos. Or Christine Mawia, who bravely puts her number out there. You can tell she's dedicated to making this blood drive a success. Christine Mawia, Cree's number is 650-219-1081. And they do this several times. They're good at it. And if you can donate blood, you could be saving lives.
Yeah. They also have a barbecue that's happening. Finally, it's going to be in person unless COVID something stops us from gathering that day, but it's happening August 22nd, I believe, and at Gilman Park, which it's always at Gilman Park, and it's usually the third Saturday of August. And so if you are free, it's a free event. Stop on by. It's in San Francisco, and they supply the meat. If you'd like to donate a side dish, that would be awesome. Not necessary, but it's a really good event for the community. They get everyone together, and, leave your drama at home, of course. And it's a really good gathering to just connect again. And free barbecue. They give away backpacks. There's free haircuts from Feel Good Cuts. He does that every year. He donates his time. Him and his barbers donate that time to give free haircuts to kids that are headed into school. They also give away free backpacks, and they're at Gilman Park in San Francisco in August. So, of course, follow All My Usos on Instagram and Facebook. Christine Mawia, follow their Facebook and Instagram. And it's a really great event. We'll be there, of course. As long as the city doesn't shut us down, we'll be there.
It's a really good event. It's a feel-good event. We've always said that it's the feel-good event of the year in San Francisco for Pacific Islanders, and it's the vibe the vibe that they've put together has been kind of, finding that magic formula, catching lightning in a bottle. And it's a community. And what's interesting is the vibe that they put out is it's so fun. There's kids performing. Cisco has been the MC. um it's a good time. It's a feel good event. There's
Mhm.
not like it's not like a concert in that's everybody's there just for music, but there is music there, and it's not a quote cultural festival where there's everybody's there just to see dancing, but there's
Right.
dancing. And there's jump houses for the kids,
Yeah,
free food. I mean, it's just a really good
it's an awesome
day
event.
in the park kind of afternoon kind of vibe to it. We've missed it for 2 years. We missed it in 2020 and 2021. I think 2018 is when Brother JT had passed, and we had, I don't know, 600. We had a ton of people there. And then in 2019 was the last one we had in person. So this is going to be, it's going to be a big event. If it comes off, hopefully everybody shows up. I remember that interview we did with Fiti and JT, and we had said, bring water or a side dish. And then they said, and if you don't got that, just bring yourself, just come and be part of it. So it's a really good event. You see people volunteering from like the sheriff's department, from CBOs around the Bay Area, down the peninsula,
Mhm.
and the biker clubs show up. Different biker, we've had different, and it's fun watching the arrival of the different groups as they come in, and then to see a different biker club go over and greet the new one coming in. It's a good time. So when that happens in San Francisco, mark it on your calendar and get on out there. We'll see you there.
Yeah, it's a really good event. So get your booty there. This week, I had the privilege of having a meeting with, oh gosh, Expecting Justice. And they have a program called Abundant Birth Project. And this project is it's for Black and Pacific Islander pregnant people in San Francisco. You have to be a San Francisco resident. The program is providing a monthly stipend of $1,000 during the pregnancy. You have to be under 27 weeks. Apply before your 27 weeks, and then during postpartum. So I think it's like 6 months after your baby is born. I believe. Do not quote me on that. And it's for Black and Pacific Islander pregnant people in San Francisco. And the purpose of Abundant Birth Project is so that you can worry less about money and focus on having a healthy and safe pregnancy. So, Abundant Birth Project, go follow them, go check out the program and see if you are living in San Francisco or know someone in San Francisco that is pregnant. In order to be a part of this program, you have to be before 27 weeks pregnant. And it's expectingjustice.org / abundant birth project. I 100% believe in this program, only just because who can't use $1,000? Like, who can't use 1,000? Of course you can use $1,000. And if you live in San Francisco, oh my gosh, that you just, it's so expensive to live in the Bay Area.
Each month too. It's not a
And
one-time thing.
yes, you get it each month, when you're part of this program. And it also does not affect other programs. Like if you're on I don't know,
If
EDD, yeah,
if you're on, yeah, if you have other forms of assistance, it doesn't affect that.
it's
So sometimes
not
you'll
that
have
they got a waiver for from these other programs. So if you're on other program, you don't have to worry about that because they got a waiver from the state for some of the things. So to get accurate and better information, go to their website and apply if you are in San Francisco. So that's I love that. I love that. So yeah.
so so I think everybody has been keeping an eye out on the news
Mhm.
for the situation out in the Pacific, and it's one of those things that there are volcanoes out there,
Mhm.
and you think about, I don't know, Mauna Kea, the different ones that, but I always think about them as being above ground, right?
Right. Right.
That's what I think of in terms of a volcano, but
Right.
the Hunga Tonga volcano erupted underneath the ocean, and
That's
that, like I said, was something that I guess I knew there were underwater volcanoes because it's underwater mountain ranges too, but I never, really thought about one and with the situation that it would create with tsunamis
yeah.
and earthquakes and all those kind of things. So what a time for especially Tonga. Um, and we've all seen the videos and the social media. Naki, you're going to talk about that in a minute about people that were on social media at the time
Mhm.
that it happened. But 100,000 feet high, and a shock went around the globe. The shockwave went around the globe. I think what hit me the most with this is just the power of Mother Nature. You know what I mean? Like, you have these things that it's kind of from a man standpoint,
Mm.
or humanity standpoint, a loud sound is something you can hear maybe a mile or two away.
Right.
Um,
People
you
were
know,
hearing it in New Zealand,
Alaska,
Alaska.
um,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 thousand miles away. That's how powerful Mother Nature is, and to hear the stories and see the videos. And that's another thing that's really hit me is you get news like right now. If something happens in Tonga, in Samoa, in Fiji, whatever, like, you get the news on Twitter or TikTok or Instagram, like, you get it instantly, and you get it before it's really, I don't know, filtered through the mainstream media. You
Right.
just get like live people's reactions. So I'll let you talk a little bit about what you saw on social media. You're our social media guru.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just want Marty Jams is checking in from church. Pay attention. Thank you, and pray for us. So, I was on social media just stalking news about Tonga, and I think we have a video that Mena's going to play from a journalist that will report. Mary Fanua, I think it is, that is a journalist that reported to First News New Zealand. So Mena's going to play that right now, and then we can go over it.
We're in a very precarious situation, and you'll forgive the wobble in my voice because we've had a very frightening hour. There was enormous cracks from the volcano, shaking, rumbling, cracking, series of huge explosions. The windows were rattling. We're 65 kilometres away. About 15 minutes later, the tsunami waves started coming into Nuku'alofa waterfront. So this long white wave, we could see it coming from the horizon over the series of reefs. There's ash blowing in. It's crunchy on my fingers. I've got it all over my forehead. The wind, or the storm, the strong wind that we had, is blowing the ash into Nuku'alofa. There's nothing you can do about it. So we're tough. We'll just tough it out and see how it progresses.
And that was brought to that is we don't own the rights to that. That is from First News New Zealand. And I got a hold of that. It was so heartbreaking to listen to her speak about it, and then to watch all the videos that started surfacing about what is going on there at the island of Tonga. And, I know that Hawaii got a tsunami warning. Samoa got a warning. Japan got a warning. I mean, so many islands around the area got tsunami warnings. And so it was so heartbreaking to see and to watch her report on it. I guess it was early on because now they have no communication with the last report that I seen. Let me just say that they had no communication with the island of Tonga. And you can just see all the waves and the water that were hitting the islands. It was so sad to watch. And so I've just been keeping my eye out, just watching, because I have family members that have family in Tonga, are from Tonga. So it really hits home for our Pacific Islanders because this is us, right? This is all of us worried about what is going on. And so I'm just so sad over the news of what is going on and not to have any word from anybody there. But I was on TikTok. I'm always on TikTok. And a guy was just recording, he was making his TikTok, and you can hear the loud explosion that happened, and then him and his family just started running into the home, and he was just trying to call his pets back in the house, and it was so sad to see. And I think I believe somebody posted a picture of two kids hiding under a table in their home, and so it's so sad to see, and to not know what is going on there is sad. You know what I mean? So all we were seeing is like satellite pictures and pictures beforehand, and so we just really prayers and just deep deep prayers for the island of Tonga and all the islands. You know, Japan got a warning, Samoa, I think Samoa is called off, but it's just so sad to see. And you know, First News New Zealand has been doing a great job of keeping up. So I've been stalking their page. So thank you, First News New Zealand, for keeping everyone updated.
Yeah, it's nice to see Pacifica Media reporting on it.
Right. And getting accurate information. So,
Yeah.
and they're covering it, you know, around the clock. I mean, I'm like CNN reported on it for a little bit and then went on to other news and would come back. But, you know, First News New Zealand has been doing a great job of reporting and keeping us updated. So, yeah, thank you.
I think as we see, I think there's no deaths reported right now as far as we know, right?
As far as we last reported that.
Last report, no deaths. So a piece of the, you know, in the past, you would need to wait for traditional media to get information out there. So the advance warning, however much it was dependent on an independent, you know, it was dependent on an organization to get that out. That's the power of social media, is you get as much advance warning as possible because you're beginning to get the information. It doesn't have to go from ground level to a news media organization and then back out to the public. You get the information quickly. You don't get it, you know, you don't necessarily know exactly what's going on, but you know something's going on. And then you start looking for information, and then you can start finding it.
Right.
I think, you know, that was one of the things that stuck out in my mind was, if I know it's there, I can get on the internet, I can start looking, and I can go find the things that are there. So social media helps me be aware of there's something going on. There's I don't know, like inconsequential things, like there's a wreck on the freeway, so I need to go a different direction. There's but all the way to very serious things, like there's an active shooter situation, there's a natural disaster, any of those kind of things. It helps, you know, you be aware of what's going on. So I thought of you because you're our social media person, so I knew you were scouring the internet for information on there. But thank goodness there's, you know, no deaths reported at this point. I don't know if that's how that's going to develop out. A lot of the injuries and things aren't reported until later, but hopefully, you know, as quickly as information travels, that help leverage some of the people's reactions and ability to get to safety.
And a lot of the reports are reporting that the ashes are all over, you know, like Mary Fanua just reported that the ashes are all over the island. So they're asking everyone to mask up and to stay in your home. Good morning, Sister Adele, checking in on Facebook. So yeah, I don't know if they have masks, you know what I mean? Like how much medical supplies does the island of Tonga have? And so I seen a GoFundMe page start up, and I really don't have all of the information. I want to make sure that it's a good, you know, page to send you to. So as soon as I verify that GoFundMe page, then I'll post it. But yeah, that's there. Of course, we should be sending medical supplies. I think New Zealand has said they're going to give $500,000 to help Tonga. So, you know, that prime minister is, I like her.
You're a fan. Mackie's a
I'm a
fan.
fan. I don't live in New Zealand, so I'm sure there's other stuff, you know, but from what I see and what the media gives out, it's been positive. And so the prime minister has given, or is going to give, as soon as it's free, and clear for them to fly to the island of Tonga. I'm sure they'll be sending resources. And so it's where they're asking the island of Tonga to everyone to mask up because of the ashes in the air and to protect their drinking water. So they're asking them to protect their water tank. I believe the homes have water tanks. So we're needing to possibly send them water, send them masks. And as soon as I get a good GoFundMe page, or however we're going to get donations, or how Tonga is going to get their supplies, we'll let you know. Good morning to Yvette, who's checking in on Facebook.
Good morning, Vet. Vet Monomea.
So yeah, sad that's happening. But from like Carl said, the latest report was there were no deaths reported as of, a couple of hours ago. And so, yeah, masks and protecting their drinking supply, their water tanks. So yeah, so really prayers out to the island of Tonga and all of the Pacific. So there you go. That's what's going. That's what we have. And so if I get anything else, we'll update our social media. But yeah, thank you to First News New Zealand for all that. Good morning, Ray Follow, who's checking in down south, Southern California. Thank you for checking in, brother. But yeah, any news we get, we'll let you know, and of course you can Google and get on social media, the internet. But I've seen a lot of TikTok videos of people that were filming or creating their TikTok, and you can hear the explosion go off. And then one guy that the explosion went off, and I guess he forgot that the camera was on, and you can hear him running to his house, trying to gather his family, so to safety and stay in. And a couple other videos I seen that a lady was in the house with her kids, and they're screaming, and you can see the water splashing up to their front window. So it was very scary and so emotional. I'm just it's just sad. And so prayers. I ask you to pray.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers to all of the people in the Pacific that are dealing with that, especially in Tonga.
Really? Yeah.
So thank goodness there are no deaths reported at this point. But if your father is buried in Colma, is that correct?
Yeah.
So if Colma were going to, if you knew it was going to flood, that's high up, so it's not likely that's going to happen. But if you knew it was going to flood in maybe a year or two, would you go move your father's? What would you do if you knew that Colma was going to flood in 2 or 3 years?
It's just I don't know what I would do. I would be like freaked out. I would just be freaked out
if they said, in 2024. Yeah, if they said in 2024, it's 2022, the beginning of 2022. If they said in 2024 or 2025, Colma's going to be underwater, and a lot of our viewers have friends and family that are in the Colma, in cemeteries in Colma.
And it's not flooding, just to let you know.
No, it's not. It's a hypothetical question because we're going to, talk about a real situation, but it would be, why is it flooding? Can we stop that? How do I even go about, exhuming my, the casket and all those kind of that's just things you don't want to have to deal with or want to have to think about. And that's kind of the segue into an article written by Kalolaine Fainu, who is an amazing. We should try to get her out on the show. She's written some really good articles about Pacifica. She wrote an article about the Saposa Islands in Papua New Guinea. And basically, the island is getting swallowed up. The sea level is rising, and at high tide, there's water across the pieces of the island. High tide is there's places you can't walk on the island, and so there's questions now because the island is going to go away. So most people are leaving, they're moving. But reading this, it just broke my heart that there's a man named Francis Tony that is buried on an island, and his son is saying, my father will be like the captain of the Titanic. When Torua Island goes down, he'll go down with it. So he's not moving to the bone, the bones or the cemetery to a new gravesite. So, you know, the bigger piece of this is there is global warming that's causing islands to shrink and some of them to even go away. But how do you go see your father at that point? You know what I mean? Do you take a boat and go, you know, to that area of the Pacific? Do you move the cemetery? All those things, and it just speaks to the bigger issue of rising tides out there in the Pacific. When I saw the picture of Torur, I was blown away. I was looking at it, going, "Oh, we got to talk about this." And I'm not a scientist. I don't have a solution for it, but I do know when I read articles like this and how it's affecting Pacifica people out there, and then to make it as personal as what would I do with my father's grave. That brings it home. Where do you go to grieve? Where how do you can't go, you put flowers out on the ocean? Like, it's a crazy decision to have to make. And I thought it would, we should talk about it, and maybe we can have some people on that are dealing with global warming and those kind of things. But I thought I'd throw that out there to you to kind of talk that through. Like, how would you handle that if you were on that island?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's in Samoa, in the island of Samoa, you bury your loved ones in front of your home. That's just how it is. That's so I can't imagine the island sinking or shrinking, and I can't what do you do with all the loved ones that are buried there, right? So I don't know what I would do. I probably would freak out, and the reality of digging their remains up and moving it is that just not going to happen. It's so gloomy. But it's just, I think it's global. We really have to talk about global warming and what it's doing to all the islands in the Pacific. It's just, I don't know how we're going to fix this, or like, what is the solution? What is the solution to this?
I think
And
it's a tough, it's a hard global discussion to have. You've got some countries like India and I don't know, China, and you've got large producers of carbon emissions that are going through
right,
their industrial revolution. So it's hard for the United States to say, look, we went through our industrial revolution, we were horrible for the environment, but
mm,
now we know better, and you, country X, shouldn't do that. And that's a tough conversation to have, because our standard of living is what it is because our country went through periods of time where industrially we were putting horrible things into the environment.
right.
But this is the standard of living that we have partially as a result of that. So what's the responsibility to tell another country to slow things down, or
Right.
don't do that? And would they listen anyway? You know what I mean? Like, I think if somebody came to us in 1900 and said, yeah, you're really exploding and going through this huge thing, but we want you to slow things down,
Yeah, that's
I
happening.
don't know if we would have listened. So that's a big conversation, and it may be something that just spitballing here. It might be something that we end up getting a Pacific Islander panel together to talk about. Like, how do we affect
Climate
this
change, yeah.
globally?
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Um, I can't even imagine having that island shrinking and just or sinking or whatever is, and have my loved ones not like go
Right.
into the ocean, right? Because
Yeah.
technically they're going into the ocean. So I that we have to have a discussion about that. And I think we
Because
have
there's symbolically would I go, oh well, he's returning to the sea, like he's a Pacifica person, and it's the ocean, and returning to the ocean is a good, like, but can you get there, versus I don't have a place to go to, a stone to put flowers at. I don't have a place to go on their birthday or their heavenly birthday to to speak to them, or those kind of things. But I just the bigger piece of how are we going to handle this so that islands like Torur are, that we learn from it, because if it's after Torur goes, there's going to be another island, and we're going to be talking about it. Shrinking, and I'm sure there's plenty of islands that are shrinking right now because of rising sea levels. But we should probably get people that know far more than us about it, and get them to talk to us about it. So maybe we make that a forum, or a space to talk about it in the future, kind of like the educational forum that we did earlier.
Yeah, I'm all with that. And we actually know some people who went to the climate change what's that?
Oh, the summit.
The summit. So that would be a good discussion to have with Mac, who is going to be one of our guests, who was at the actual summit. So that's a good conversation to have with him. So yeah.
Look at us making shows. As we're closing a show, we're making another show happen.
Right. So that'll be a good discussion this week. We had Koviki Talk on Monday, where we talked to happy doctors. We had the happy doctors on, answering questions about Omicron. Did I say that right? Not Omarion.
Omicron.
Omicron. They answered a lot of great questions about, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It was with Dr. Ao, Dr. Fuimont, and Dr. Ricklin. So it was a great discussion. They answered questions. And again, if you have any questions during Koviki Talk, or you have any questions that you'd like us to answer, please send us an email to, is it health questions at Pacifica?
Health questions at pacificabydesign.com. We have a e-community health worker that sits in on all of our Koviki Talk episode and answers questions in real time. And then if we can't get the information, we'll get the email or the messenger information from the person asking the question and provide the information to them. He also will review the video and look for comments. So if you're a viewer that didn't get a chance to catch the live show and you're watching the replay of it, or you're just clicking on a Facebook page and you're looking at the video, you can still put a question in the comments section, and the e-community health worker will find the question. He's reviewing those every evening, I believe, and send you the information, or send you to, send your question to a doctor, or a CDC representative or an NIH representative, get the information and send that to you. So the e-community health worker is a program that we're one of the first to have it.
Yeah.
And we're pioneering that. We want to make sure that, because most of the people that see our shows are watching it later. They're not watching on the live show, and they need the information as well. So if they're listening to it, they can say, hey, I still need to know, what do I do if this situation comes up? You can put the question in the comments, and our e-community health worker will get back to you.
Yeah, it was a great show with the doctors that answered a lot of great questions, gave a lot of great information. So go check it out. It's on our page. It's also there's also going to be a Koviki Talk YouTube page where you can get all the videos also. It'll be up in a little bit. We'll let you know. So, but yes, if you have any questions, please send us an email or hit us up in the in Messenger. Send us a message in Messenger, and we can get your questions answered. On the 24th, which is a Monday, I believe, is our next show, and we'll be talking to COVID survivors, which is Somala'a, who was in the hospital in a coma, who survived. He'll be coming on telling his story. We'll also be talking to Kennedy Masoli, who is both of them are still recovering from COVID. And so listen to their stories. If you have any questions, please come to our show that day. It'll be at 5 p.m. and you can ask them questions. We will answer questions in the chat, and then you can listen to their story and see how important it is for Pacific Islanders to get vaccinated. So yeah, that will be Monday, January 24th at 5 p.m. Somala'a, Kennedy Masoli, and possibly another person. So look for that January 24th.
Yeah, real quick note about the Koviki Talk that we just did. All of the questions and the discussion is centered around Omicron. So there are a lot of things that have been answered about Delta and the original virus and its different iterations. But this was because Omicron is what's, people are talking about it. It's more infectious. Like how do vaccines work with it? What are the preventative measures? All those kind of questions specifically about Omicron are what those doctors were there for, and the questions that were asked of them dealt specifically with Omicron. So check it out. It's a good place to get your information. And then, yes, it'll be good to see from a human standpoint, from not from a doctor, but from people that have gone through it, which Naki will be on the show as well. And she is a 2-time survivor of COVID-19. She's getting used to whooping that. And we'll have Kennedy and Solma on the show as well. So good show coming up. And I like the ones about the people. I like hearing, the people's experience and what they thought it was, their thoughts before, their thoughts during, their thoughts after. So really looking forward to that. Thank you for landing those guests in that show, Naki.
No problem. It's going to be a good show. So yeah, I think we've gotten everything out. Anything else you want to
last thing, go Steelers. That's it. I'm good.
Go Niners. Go Niners. Go watch your football. Go watch your football. It's Sunday football day. Go watch football. Go watch your basketball. Go cheer on your favorite team. Go Niners, of course. And we'll see you next week right here at 10 a.m. Come back to Faika with us.
Love you all.
Baby, D-Major, baby. D-Major, baby. John Diamond made the beat and I'm gon' kill it. Yeah. Look, hey, ain't had no rest in about 5 weeks. Niggas took my baby sister, this shit got my mind weak. They fuck this music in my job, niggas could find me. Wish you was closer, I'm needing you in my arms reach. Yeah. Look, months passed and we ain't know who did it. Got me tripping, I'm calling all of my niggas.